Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today we will be reacting to another slapped hand video. This video is titled "People Have No Clue What This Creepy Footage Really Means." Well, let's see what it really means then, shall we? Alright, let's get started.
A chilling TikTok posted by the account at nightmarefuel__ has sparked intense debate, with viewers questioning if they're seeing genuine paranormal activity or simply a well-staged hoax. Further stirring speculation, a commenter claiming to personally know the woman noted that her mother-in-law had recently passed away. Creepier still, if you slow the footage down, you can see a shadow appear in the window just as the woman's hair is tugged. While believers find the clip compelling evidence of a ghostly presence, skeptics remain unconvinced, suggesting it's likely a practical joke or clever camera trick. With no official investigation, the viral video continues to captivate viewers, leaving the true explanation shrouded in mystery.
Now this one was interesting footage right here. Now, if it is a practical joke, then I know this poor woman was not part of the joke. She was not let in on anything. If you see just the fear in her face when she spun around trying to figure out who pulled her hair, now that's a real emotion. I know people could say, well, look at the movies. Well, some of the best responses in movies actually came from unscripted situations that happened within that set, within that actual moment of that being filmed, and it leads to some of the best emotions that they've ever captured on film for movies, and that's what actually makes it a lot better. But this right here, it's real strange. Just like he said, there is a shadow. If you pay attention to the window behind her over the sink, there is a shadow that does pop up. I had to look a couple of times just to make sure that it wasn't maybe her shadow from her throwing her arms up after her hair was being pulled and everything. But right now, to me, this is looking pretty interesting, to say the least. I mean, if this is faked and it's a hoax on this, it was a very, very good hoax. I mean, I didn't see any way where her hair could have been pulled by like a string or anything like that, because the way she spun around after to figure out who had pulled her hair and everything when she got back up, there was nothing that you could see that ended up tightening around her when she spun around. Like something would have came up around her neck or something like that, and you would have been able to see it. But we could possibly put this one into the maybe column for it being actual paranormal. Let's move on, shall we?
An unsettling incident during a massive anti-government protest in Belgrade, Serbia on March 15, 2025 has sparked controversy and intense debate online. Over 500,000 protesters later signed a petition demanding answers after experiencing what many describe as a powerful sonic impact. Video footage captures a sudden moment of panic as protesters cover their ears and scatter during an otherwise peaceful moment of silence. Witnesses insist the authorities secretly used a sonic weapon, known as a long-range acoustic device or LRAD, to disperse the crowd. They report lingering headaches, nausea, and ringing in their ears after the incident. The Serbian government, including President Aleksandar Vučić, strongly denies the accusations, calling them a wicked lie. Yet Serbia's Interior Minister Ivica Dacic admitted a police vehicle at the protest carried an LRAD-like device, but insists it was never actually activated against the protesters. Independent analysts and international media, including The Guardian, have confirmed the presence of the LRAD equipment, fueling public suspicion. Authorities suggest the eerie sound could have been due to technical glitches or unrelated noise. With growing calls for transparency, the true nature of what caused the panic and whether protesters were deliberately targeted remains unresolved, leaving many wondering if a secret sonic weapon was indeed deployed in Belgrade.
Now, this video don't sit right with me. I just didn't seem like it was a crazy protest from what I could see going on in there. It just seemed like a bunch of people there with their phones and everything like that, just standing in the middle of the road, not really doing much of anything. And then out of nowhere, just the panic and pandemonium that happens with these people. It's just sad, really, that they try to sit there and say that they didn't use an LRAD on these people. But something really moved them. And it was a lot of people that got moved in such a quick time. I don't believe that they are being very truthful with their constituents. And I honestly feel that they did use a sound weapon on them to get them to move. Because honestly, no sort of police presence or anything less than somebody going and making them forcefully move out of there to get people to move that quick. I mean, even if they came through with a platoon of police officers or military personnel, they couldn't have got that much movement that quickly with all those people there. So I'm definitely saying that they used a sound weapon on this one. Let's move on, shall we?
A spine-chilling video recently uploaded by Instagram user Bhutortikor Kahini has left paranormal enthusiasts buzzing and skeptics scratching their heads. In the clip, a young boy casually plays with a Ouija board in front of a large mirror, but viewers quickly noticed something deeply unsettling. The boy's reflection seems to move independently, out of sync with his actual motions. Seconds later, as the boy leaves the room, the camera captures something even more disturbing. The planchette on the Ouija board inexplicably begins sliding across the board completely by itself. Social media erupted with theories. Some users believe the boy unintentionally invited an entity into his home, while others suggested a possible haunting or demonic presence manipulating the mirror and board. Skeptics were quick to propose explanations ranging from camera trickery or clever editing to strings being pulled off screen. For now, this eerie Ouija session remains an unexplained mystery.
Honestly, this one here seems more fake, in my opinion, than the one that was the kitchen one. Now, the kitchen one, I could actually see that happening and possibly being real, or at least it could have been a practical joke that somebody played on. I don't know how they would have done it, but they might have played on that woman in the kitchen one. But this one right here, it's just a little too off to me. You know what I mean? Let me explain it a little bit more. First off, you got a little kid playing around like he's playing on the Ouija board. But let's be honest, he was just moving that planchette around. He really wasn't doing much. It was like somebody sat there and told him, you know what? I want you in this scene, I want you to sit there and just play around, like pretend like you just move it around a little bit. You may not know how to utilize it, but just play around with it. Then I want you to look into the mirror. And then after that, with some editing skills and things like that, possibly putting a green screen set up into the mirror through editing and everything. That's how they got the quote unquote demonic weirdness going on with the boy's reflection in the mirror. This one right here, it just screams staged. That's the best word for it, staged. Just simply because it's just the overall weirdness and the overall just calmness of the little boy when the mirror didn't act like it should have acted. That puts me on kind of an alert. You know what I mean? I mean, let's be honest. If you looked into a mirror and then turned your head, and you could still see that mirror out the corner of your eye, so you would be able to see what your reflection is doing, correct? Well, I'm sorry. If I still had my, reflection staring at me after I done turned my head and I could see out the corner of my eyes that it's just sitting there staring at me and its eyes glowing, I would have done lost it. Let's be honest. I would have lost it. Probably y'all would have done lost it too. But this kid acted like it was any old Saturday night watching TV with his family. Ain't nothing done to it. So I'm putting this one on the fake category. Let's move on now, shall we?
Instagram user Dr. John Bez Rooch has sparked intrigue after posting some puzzling footage captured recently in the Florida Keys.
That started as a small little thing and then just kind of... now it's huge.
The video, recorded in mid-March, shows diners at a local restaurant bar looking skyward, bewildered by an unusual formation drifting slowly through the evening air.
That started as a small little thing and then just kind of...
At first glance, it resembles a peculiar cloud, but as the footage continues, things quickly turn even stranger. An eyewitness exclaims, "Look, there's sparks coming out of it."
What is that? It's like sparkly.
Indeed, the mysterious object appears to emit sparks or fiery fragments as it moves steadily into the distance. Another voice in the clip can be heard asking, "Is that another SpaceX rocket?"
Another SpaceX rocket?
Given the location, many commenters agreed the sighting was likely linked to rocket activity. After all, the Florida Keys aren't far from Cape Canaveral and Merritt Island, home to America's Eastern Range, the busiest rocket launch site in the country. However, not everyone bought into the mainstream explanation. User Yelsup.Nivik had a far different take, commenting,
SpaceX failing to break through the firmament again. It's all a big performance to continue the lies about spaceflight and the ability for NASA to steal $26 million daily from taxpayers for making movies about outer space exploration, knowing we cannot get past lower Earth orbit.
Whether you believe it's a routine rocket launch or something more conspiratorial, this eerie footage is certainly sparking debate online, reminding us just how strange and controversial the skies above Florida can be.
What is that? It's like sparky.
Now, this one right here, I have to tend to agree with the person in the video about the SpaceX rocket. The Florida Keys, even though they are pretty far down from Cape Canaveral, can still see all of the goings on of NASA and SpaceX. It is a very busy area. I remember many years ago, I went on a cruise outside of Cape Canaveral, and we were actually boarding the ship, and the ship was going out to sea. We could see where they were actually going through and setting up the rocket. So they do have pretty much daily, I wouldn't say daily, I was almost going to say daily, but I don't think it's daily launches, but they do launch many rockets out of Cape Canaveral, and that could have been one of those unmanned rockets or unmanned probes that they have, and it just didn't get the oomph it needed to get out of orbit. Now, that one conspiracy theorist response towards the end about we can't get out of lower orbit, blah 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 blah, I have to disagree with him in a sense that there has been many things that have gone on, and I mean, considering the fact that our space program and technology in general has increased since the start of NASA, that, you know, that's just a bunch of hoopla that somebody wanted to state. I mean, if y'all don't agree with me on some of this stuff, then that's your prerogative, and therefore it is my prerogative to say that I think that that was just a bunch of hooey or what that one was saying. But more onto the video itself, I have to agree it was probably a rocket, a probe, something, and it just didn't get the power or acceleration it needed to get out of orbit. So let's get on to the next one, shall we?
A fascinating and seriously disturbing clip shared by Jamie Lynn McCombs on Facebook is making viewers skin crawl. The video, originally captured by YouTube user ChimeU95 in August 2019, zooms in closely on a snail whose eye stalks pulsate with bright, neon-coloured stripes of green and blue. It almost looks as if the snail is hosting a psychedelic rave right inside its own head. But as bizarre as this footage appears, the explanation is actually grounded in terrifyingly real biology. What you're seeing is a documented parasite often called the zombie snail parasite, scientifically known as Leucochloridium paradoxum, or the green-banded brood sac. Like something ripped straight from the plot of The Last of Us, this parasitic flatworm invades snails, hijacking their nervous systems and controlling their movements and behaviour. Those throbbing, colourful eye stalks? They're larvae-filled sacs belonging to the parasite, actively mimicking juicy caterpillars or grubs to lure hungry birds. Typically found in amber snails throughout Europe and North America, including likely a garden in the US, this parasite compels its snail victim to abandon dark, safe hiding spots and climb out into the open, making itself an easy target for birds. Why does the parasite do this? Birds are actually its primary host. Once ingested by birds, the parasite reproduces inside the bird's gut, and the eggs exit via droppings, where they infect new snails and start this grotesque cycle again. Decades of scientific research confirm this chilling example of parasitic mind control. Outlets like National Geographic and reputable scientific journals have documented identical cases, confirming the snail's horrifying zombification. So yes, the zombie snail parasite is very real, and every bit as nightmarish as it looks. Luckily for us, it only targets snails, meaning our brains are safe from this particular horror, for now.
That poor snail was downright disturbing. I mean, I've heard of these before, the zombie worms, zombie parasites, whatever you want to call them. And I've seen photos of the whole thing. I've seen videos, but it's still, no matter how many times you see it, it's pretty darn disturbing to see that sort of thing, especially with the snails and everything, that just that whole movement and just in the eye stalks and everything. It's like I say, it's just disturbing. There's no other words for it. So let's just move on, all right?
In a heartwarming yet spine-tingling video, a family gathered to honour the memory of their late mother on what would have been her birthday. The footage, originally shared by user at TTVIGG33 and later reposted by Muldowney Memorials on Instagram, captures a touching moment as family members sing "Happy Birthday" around a cake with a single lit candle.
Happy birthday to you.
But watch closely, because this tribute quickly takes an eerie turn.
Go ahead, Daddy. Oh, that was weird.
Without any noticeable breeze or movement nearby, the lone candle suddenly blows out all by itself.
Go ahead, Daddy. Oh, that was weird.
The stunned yet moved family instantly interpret it as a comforting sign from their mum, bridging the gap between this world and the next. Interestingly, many grieving families report similar unexplained phenomena: flickering lights, unexplained noises, or objects shifting position, especially during significant anniversaries or birthdays. While skeptics might attribute this incident to coincidence or natural causes, the emotional impact on this family is undeniable. Whether you believe in afterlife messages or not, this touching clip has resonated deeply with viewers, suggesting perhaps some connections truly transcend our understanding.
Go ahead, Daddy. Oh, that was weird.
Now, this video clip I like. Just nice and simple paranormal. That's the best way I could describe it. I mean, yeah, a lot of y'all probably think, oh, well, are you sure maybe there was somebody hidden on the side and everything like that? To be fair, the way the person was angling the video, you could tell that they didn't zoom in, that they were moved up close. So you have the two women, the one that was shooting the video, and then the other one holding the cake. They're singing the happy birthday song to their late mother, who had done passed away. They don't say how long she had been passed or anything like that, but anyway, they're both singing the happy birthday song. If by any chance it was either one of them, the intake and outtake of breath while singing would have blown the candle out if that candle was that weak. But it didn't. It only blew out after the fact that they finished up singing the song. And if you look at it, you can tell too the visual cues of the way the flame was moving. Now, I know y'all all have blown out candles in the past as a birthday, blow out a candle that you finish using in a room even, it doesn't even have to be cake and candle. It could be a regular candle that you got in your room and you're like, okay, I'm going to turn off the candle, and you blow it out. The flame flickers and moves, and the smoke that comes from the extinguishing of the flame will also blow in the way that you blow the air. If you're coming from the right, it's going to move to the left, and vice versa. This just simply went out. Unless this is a candle that does automatically turn off when it gets to a certain point, like when it hits, say, the wax or something like that, then you know what? That can be totally understandable, and we would all know what it is. But I have yet to see any of those like that. I've seen the ones that do the sparkling. I've seen, and those sparkler ones, once they get to the very end, they'll go out themselves. But most of the time, a regular standard candle with wax and everything like that normally goes out when the wax is out. You know what I mean? And so the wax was still there on it. So I want to say that this one is real, especially with the way they both reacted towards it. Just the sheer surprise in the voice of the person who was filming it and everything, and just the surprise and shock, and then just the smile on the face of the person holding the cake, knowing that was more than likely her mother. I mean, sure, a lot of y'all will say, oh yeah, no, it was fake, it was fake, it was fake. But there's been a lot of things that I've seen in my life where stuff like that happens. I mean, you sit there, say one moment you're thinking about a loved one who's done passed on and everything. The next thing you know, a butterfly pops up. And you ain't seen the butterfly around the whole time, and the butterfly pops up and they land on you. And come to find out that actually was one of the favorite animals of that loved one that had done passed. Or, you end up like thinking you're lost and things like that, and then you think you're lost in the woods, or you're lost somewhere in a city or something. Then all of a sudden you smell a smell that reminds you of somebody who's done passed on, and it you follow the scent, and it ends up leading you to where you needed to go to begin with. Things like that happen in our lives. Coincidence? Maybe. But I like to think that it's maybe someone who's done gone on before us trying to lead us into the right direction, or just letting us know, hey, you know what? I see you. I see what you're doing. I'm still here in some way or form or another. I mean, I have a belief that most things with paranormal, ghosts and things like that, people are made of energy, and energy never dissipates. It transfers into something else. I mean, look at one of the most basic forms of an object, water, right? Water can be solid, liquid, or gas. So it can go into 3 stages of matter. Easy. It's still water. It's still components are H2O. Hydrogen dioxide. It still has those same components, whether it is in a solid, a liquid, or a gas. It's just changed its form. Its energy continues on no matter which way you go. And I feel a lot of that happens with us as we move on to whatever's left, whatever's past this world and plane of existence, Sorry, I kind of went up on a little soapbox and got on a little rant here. So, let's move on to the next one, shall we?
August 11th, just before 3:30 in the morning, the police department communications center got a call.
In a story straight out of a horror film, an unexplained emergency call in Pueblo, Colorado left even seasoned police officers scratching their heads and checking over their shoulders. Around 3:30 a.m., a 911 dispatcher received a chilling call from Imperial Memorial Gardens Funeral Home. When she answered, the line was open but eerily silent, followed by unsettling static before abruptly disconnecting.
Hello?
Hello?
By protocol, police were immediately sent to investigate, but what they discovered only deepened the mystery. Officers arrived at the funeral home, a building locked up and dark on the outskirts of Pueblo, completely deserted in the dead of night. They found no signs of forced entry, no intruders, no one at all. Adding to the creepiness, the dispatcher attempted to call back, and again the line picked up, transmitting only ghostly static on the other end. Police Captain Tom Rummel jokingly suggested it was probably just line trouble, but technicians found no obvious issues with the phone lines. The unsettling call quickly became local legend, spreading through social media and even making headlines on CBS News. Many speculated that perhaps something paranormal was behind the strange event.
Hello? Hello?
On Reddit, users debated whether spirits might use electronic devices like phones to communicate from beyond. Some even claimed to hear faint whispers within the static, fueling theories that a restless spirit from the funeral home might have reached out from the afterlife. Skeptics, however, noted technical glitches can occasionally trigger phantom calls, though the precise timing and location made this hard to dismiss outright.
Hello?
With no human culprit or rational explanation found, Pueblo's ghostly 911 caller remains an eerie and unsolved mystery, a reminder that even modern technology can deliver spine-chilling surprises.
Hello?
Now, personally, I've never seen this video before, but I have heard of situations like this occurring. That was the one I heard many years ago, where this person, they were sitting at home, day off, relaxing, and all of a sudden the phone rings. They get up, answer the phone. Mind you, this is before cell phones and everything like that. It's a landline. So they pick up the phone, and all they could hear was static. But they could think they hear like a female's voice in amongst the static and everything like that. And they keep on, hello, hello, I can't hear you. Hello, anybody there? They do stuff like that for a little bit. Can't really hear what was being said over the static and everything, but they could swear up and down that they heard a voice in the static. They just couldn't figure it out exactly, and it sounded more like like their grandmother or something like that. Anyway, they hang up the phone because they can't hear anything, and they're like, oh, if it's important, they'll call back once they get in a better reception type area, because storms going around and things like that. That would mess up a lot of the landlines, especially down south, and big storms coming and everything. So they waited. Next thing you know, about half an hour to an hour later, they get a phone call. And they're like, oh, okay, finally, maybe whoever was trying to get a hold of me was able to get through and have a bit better connection. Maybe the storm's done gone. Anyway, they pick up the phone, and it's another family member. And they're like, oh, I just wanted to call you and let you know that your grandma done passed away, and it was about an hour ago. So they hang up the phone, and to this day, they believe that it was their grandma trying to pass on the message before anybody else could. That she was the one who ended up trying to get through to the person on that first phone conversation. They swear up and down on this, even to this day, and the many years that went by after something like this happened. But whether or not I believe their story and this, I mean, there's so much in this world that we don't know. And, you know, I mentioned it before, that basically, you know, humans themselves are basically just a battery. So I can see where once somebody's done passed on, that energy that's within the body has to have some other way, some other method of going somewhere and everything. And there's always a big possibility that they are trying to reach out to us and let us know either they're okay or maybe they don't know where they are, something like that. And this type of video, it shows, I mean, whether or not it's really a 911 call. I mean, it did make an evening news in that of the local television station in that where this happened. So, you know, I could say that this is a very well documented case of the paranormal or supernatural, whichever one you would prefer, is in fact trying to contact us. Whether we understand or not is the other question, and it should be the real question. Anyway, let's move on now, shall we?
A Reddit user by the name of Improper Forum recently stirred up paranormal communities online after sharing a family photo with an unsettling detail, an unexplained fourth figure appearing in the background. The snapshot was taken in 2015 at their grandmother's home on Whidbey Island, Washington, and at the time only 3 people were reportedly present: the grandmother behind the camera, the user's aunt, and a young cousin. When reviewing the picture later, the family noticed a blurry, shadowy figure with long, dark hair mysteriously peering into the frame, someone they swear wasn't there at the time. Speculation exploded online, with some suggesting the unknown woman might be a ghost, possibly a Native American spirit tied to the island's well-documented history as an indigenous burial ground. A few commenters even felt they could see historical-style clothing, enhancing theories of a supernatural origin. However, skeptics weren't convinced. Over on Reddit's r/skeptic community, theories quickly arose that the figure might simply be a misidentified family friend, neighbor, or even the grandmother, accidentally caught in a reflection. Despite these explanations, the family maintains that the location was remote, nobody else was present, and the atmosphere felt eerie that day. Adding credibility, the photo was reportedly analysed by a university lab and found free of digital manipulation. Without concrete evidence either way, the unknown woman in the background photo remains an intriguing mystery, another compelling snapshot that blurs the line between reality and the paranormal.
I will say that this picture is pretty eerie, just the way that the person's sitting in the first place. But, you know, whether it's paranormal or not, I mean, I have no, you know, I didn't sit there and think that automatically, oh my goodness, it's a fake picture and everything. You know, I didn't think that at all. I mean, the fact that they supposedly had a university check it out and make sure that it is authentic and everything, you know, that does lend some credence to it. But at the end of the day, I can't rightly say if this is actually paranormal or not. Maybe they didn't know that maybe somebody was coming up into the person's, their family member's home and things like that. And as for the skeptics saying that it was the grandma's reflection, if that was the case, wouldn't she have a camera still in her hands too, since she was the one purportedly taking the picture? I digress with that, but, you know, I've seen some strange things in my time, so I can't sit there and rightly say anything about this. I know I've sat there and gone on about some of the other ones, about how fake they look and all this other stuff with them. But when it comes to pictures and everything like that, unless it's something that's really, really like, okay, yeah, no, that's AI, CGI, anything like that, it's a little harder. I mean, to some extent it is. But this one here, I can't go either way on it. With it being paranormal or just normal and people being a little hush-hush about who's in the picture and everything. Other than that, if they say that there was nobody else there, then, they would know more than me. But at the end of the day, I'd have to know a little bit more context. I'd have to know the history. I don't rightly know too much about Washington State, except for the fact that it supposedly has one of the largest Bigfoot communities, even though nobody has been able to find them. I got some thoughts on that. I'm still working on that one video I was telling y'all about before, but it's taking a little bit more time to get it all set up. But I've been working on it, I promise you, and I'm hoping that I can explain more on the whole Bigfoot and possibility of why we cannot find any evidence to support it, yet people have seen him everywhere. Anyway, before I go and start getting rid of little juicy secrets I might have for that video, let's move on to the next one.
A recent video shared by UFO enthusiast account UFO Goslem has caused a buzz online, showing mysterious green and blue lights hovering silently in a distinct circular formation above Vancouver, Canada.
They are nuts.
Filmed in late March, the eerie footage captures a strange glowing ring in the sky.
They are nuts.
The clip quickly grabbed attention as viewers debated what these strange lights could be. Vancouver isn't new to unexplained aerial phenomena, with numerous past sightings usually turning out to be satellites or even glimpses of the aurora borealis. For example, this string of strange lights left residents puzzled until it was revealed that it was a row of Starlink satellites moving into place. Yet this green ring-shaped arrangement doesn't neatly fit these familiar explanations, leaving locals scratching their heads. Some speculate it was a drone show rehearsal, as coordinated LED-lit drones are becoming common at public events. Another theory gaining traction is that powerful spotlights from the city, perhaps from a stadium or movie set, may have reflected onto low-hanging clouds, creating the illusion of a floating luminous ring. Vancouver's thriving film industry has previously caused similar misunderstandings. A past incident involved Batwoman's production lights being mistaken for UFOs. Adding to speculation, Reddit users noted the North Shore Mountains' proximity, pointing out that bright lights from ski resorts like Grouse Mountain have occasionally generated odd reflections.
They are nuts.
Officially, Transport Canada and local authorities have reported no unusual aviation activity, leaving this event firmly in the unexplained category. UFO enthusiasts are thrilled, calling it one of the more intriguing sightings of recent months, while skeptics insist it's likely a clever hoax or simply an optical illusion fueled by atmospheric conditions.
They are nuts.
And here is the last video clip of the episode. I got a funny story to tell y'all. So, kind of reminds me of what I'm seeing in this video. So, I think y'all should listen to this one. So, this was several years back, right? And I was driving with a friend of mine. And we noticed, we stopped at the red light. We were in town and everything like that. And so I'm sitting there looking. It wasn't exactly fully in town, more towards the outskirts, but we was at a red light. And we stopped. And we're sitting there. I'm just staring up at the sky because it's a real beautiful night, you know, clear, stars out, moon. And all of a sudden, I seen these strange lights up in the sky. I'm looking and looking. I'm like, what the hell's that? So I hit my friend on the shoulder and everything, and bring her attention to the whole thing. Like showing her, hey, look, you see this? What is going on? What's this? So she starts looking, and she's like, oh, that's probably nothing. So, all right, we keep on going. It's green. Red light turned green by then. And so I was like, you know what? Let's take a look and see what these are. And try to see if we can follow. Looked everywhere. Going random areas in the streets, up and down in town. Can't find it. So, she's starting to get mad at me. I'm getting frustrated because I can't find it. And then we figured out where they were coming from. So, these lights, let me tell you, they was about 3 or 4 of them up in the sky, and they were going all sorts of different directions, kind of serpentine motion, and then some of them would start like chasing each other and everything like that. Now y'all gonna laugh. This is funny. So we finally found out what they were. They were spotlights for a car dealership, right? I told you it was something kind of strange with it, but anyway, it was spotlights from the car dealership, and they was just trying to, had some sort of billboards and everything like that. So, the spotlights are just going to town and everything, moving around. So in the end, what I'm trying to get at is there are perfectly logical explanations for some things, and then there's some things that we can never really know until we study it more and figure out more. But this video, I think it's the same as my little trip down in the middle of town trying to chase down lights. I think it's more than likely maybe not a car dealership or something like that, but maybe a premiere going on, something's going on, and it's creating these sort of lights. Just the way it's sliding in and out of the clouds and everything like that. It was very, very reminiscent of the spotlights I had done seen when I was driving that one time before. So, I don't think this is anything that we can't explain. I feel that this right here, just like what I was chasing, it's just a plain old spotlight. So, with that, this video is over. I see y'all again soon, and I hope you enjoy what you hear and what you see. Like and subscribe if y'all do, and if you want anything else for me to do, leave it in the comments. I'll take anything into consideration. If you want me to react to something else, then I'll do it. But until then, y'all stay safe.